Hey everybody, we're doing volume of triangular prisms today. We got a volume question here to practice on. We got a couple of them. It shouldn't be a very long note session. We're going to first solve this problem here. Looking at it, we know that it's a triangular prism. Again, it has two triangular bases. One of them's back here. The other one is right here in the front. And even though it's not sitting on that actual base, the rule for a triangular prism is that the bases are triangles. And that's very important to remember as we do this problem. So again, we're doing volume. So we're going to circle volume for our notes. Maybe we just write it right here. Volume. And the name of the shape. Well, we're going to shorten this down. It is a triangular prism. Again, knowing that it's a triangular prism will help you remember part of the process for doing this. So we look on our formula chart, and what it says for volume of all prisms is the same exact thing we've been working on. Volume is the area of the base, signified by the big B, times the height. Now the height, we're finding the volume of the prism, so we're talking about the height of the prism. Okay? Shape of the base, well, we know that's a triangle, and we know that I already shaded it in. And again, there are two of them, even though they're not sitting on those actual bases, those are the bases. Now, we have to find the area of the base. Now, this is where it's going to get a little bit tricky, but as long as we follow our rules, we'll be okay with this. So we're going to come over here. Since our base shape is a triangle, well, we're going to have to look on our formula chart. And when we look on that, we'll see that it says either this or this for the area of a triangle. Half the base times the height, or base times height divided by 2. Now, looking at this triangle right here, we do see that it's a right triangle, and we can very easily see that the base of this triangle is 12 and the height of it is 16. Remember, this line right here is never going to be the height of something. Okay? It's a slanted line, so please make sure you're using the correct numbers. So first we're going to find the area of this triangle. So we're going to come over here, we're going to follow our formula. Base times height divided by 2. I know that's kind of small, but it's hard to see. And I zoom in a little bit just for doing this part. Base times height divided by 2. Again, our base was 12. Our height of the triangle was 16. And then we're going to divide that answer in half. Now, you have a couple options here that might make it easier. If you want to just divide one of these numbers in half first, you could do that. Like if you wanted to do 12 divided by 2, that's 6. And take that answer and multiply it times 16, that would work. You could also maybe take half of 16, multiply it times 12, whichever. However, we also want to try and remember the formula correctly. Base times height divided by 2. Well, if we went out to the side here and did 16 times 12, we'd get 192. And 192 divided by 2 is 96. So again, that is just the area of the triangle. Okay? So that's just the first part. The next part is finding the height of the prism. Now, we already dealt with the 16 and 12 for the triangle. The height of a prism connects the two bases. So in this case, the triangles are our two bases. This line right here is the one that connects them. So that is our height. So the height of the actual prism is 10. So now I'm just going to finish my formula. I'm going to come right down here and write this out. Volume equals area of the base times the height. Remember, when you do area of the base, some math has to be done to get this big B. You can't just find a number and put it there. That never is going to be the case unless they actually tell you the area of the base shape is something. Okay, this is something you're going to have to figure out. Please don't ever just think, oh, there's this number here, I'm just going to put it right there. Nope, you have to solve something first. And we did that right here. We did the area of the base, big B. We found that it was 96. We figured the height of the prism by finding it. The line that connects the two bases is the height. because normally you'd think it'd be sitting on one of these triangles, so it'd be turned sideways, so it'd be sitting on them. Then this would be how tall the prism was. So then we multiply out, we get 960, and since we're using centimeters, we're going to write that in cubic centimeters. That's how you would say that. Again, for those of you not in my class, you may not have seen this, but this is about how big a cubic centimeter is. Okay, very small. You can see it in relation. I mean, it's not even bigger than my thumbnail. Okay, it's pretty small. So 960 of these little cubes would fit inside that big shape. And that's what we're doing when we find volume. Okay, next problem. We're going to go a little bit faster on this one, just because that first one was just to get us the hang of doing this. Now we're going to work through it. Again, we're finding volume. The name of the shape, again, triangular prism. We're finding volume. The formula, again, the same formula that we had for the other prisms. Area of the base times the height. Shape of the base. We know that it's a triangle. It's called a triangular prism, and we're going to shade it in. That means we got this one, but this one down here is also the base. Now we're going to solve the area of the base. We know it's a triangle, so we're going to do base times height divided by 2. Okay? Now, when I have a triangle like this, I could maybe call this the base. But in order for this to be the base, I'd have to know this line right here. Okay? And it doesn't give me that line. So that doesn't mean you're out of luck. That just means you might have to do something like this and turn it sideways so that you see, oh, my base is 6, my height is 8. So when I turn this back around, those are the base and the height of that triangle. So base times height, 6 times 8, divided by 2, would tell me that the area of that triangle right there is 24. So the area of the base is 24. Again, the height of the prism. Don't think it's the 10, because this does not connect the two bases. This is the line that connects those two bases. Those two triangles are connected by this line, which is 12. So my height of the prism is 12. And now I'm just going to come down here where you got a little extra space. Write down my formula again. We already calculated the area of the base. Again, that was math we had to do. We didn't just find a number. We did some math. That was 24 times the height, which is 12. When I do that, I get 288. Now, this one doesn't give me dimensions. Maybe it was in feet. So that would be okay. We would say that's the answer in cubic feet. Okay? Well, that's it. That's all you had to do for your notes. That was pretty quick, about 8 minutes. So make sure this is done, and we will do some examples of these on Friday.